What is up, y'all? Welcome to this episode of the Elden Ring Quick Platinum Walkthrough. We got lots to do in this episode, and we just got our Mimic up to +10, which is going to help us enormously with this next thing that we're going to do. We're going to go back underground, and we're going to head right to this area and tackle this area of the underground section. And there is a somewhat challenging boss at the end, but with a +10 Mimic, it's going to make the job much easier than it would be otherwise. Other than that, in this episode, we will be getting some more legendary stuff that's required for those trophies. We're going to be getting through the next major dungeon of the game, killing a couple more trophy bosses, another shard bearer. So lots to take care of, lots of ground to cover in this episode. So looking forward to it for sure. So once you see these jellyfish, you know you're kind of on the right track. And we're going to drop down right here. Under this ledge. Over here, I believe, is a stone sword key. This is going to take us to the aqueduct area. Put my lantern on just for visibility. It is kind of dark in here. Unlock this grace. And then here we got some more dropping down we got to do. So jump onto this. I'm going to turn this way. You see there's a Crucible Knight right there. We're not going to fight him. Head straight down here. There's going to be some enemies that we're going to ignore. Got a gold rune 6 to kind of hang a right and then hang a left. And here's where we're going to fight the next boss. This is going to be twin giant gargoyles. This is kind of a DPS race because if you can kill the first gargoyle quickly before the second one shows up, you'll be in better shape. This gargoyle has a nasty poison attack. So I'm going to go ahead and put my Mimic in. And hopefully we can get this guy's health pretty low before the second gargoyle comes in. We'll see what happens though. This is probably going to be one of the most challenging fights so far in the playthrough, and I'm not doing so hot. I keep on missing my attacks, which is never a good thing. I missed again. I want him on my Mimic. There we go. Now we're doing better. So there's his poison attack. He'll put poison all over the ground. And this is a relatively aggressive poison, so I'm going to use my Flame Cleanse Me to cure it. Heal up. The second one's definitely going to come out before we get this one down. Unfortunately, I'm going too slow. He's going to do some more poison. But so you see my Mimic +10, he's taking an enormous amount of the damage, which is what I want. He's super tanky, which is why I love the Mimic. And the second one's out, unfortunately. I need to chug my blue flask here. And the second one is unfortunately becoming a factor already. The first one is like all the way back here. The Mimic is engaged on this with the second one, so I'm going to try to take this one out while the Mimic is messing with the other one. He's doing his poison again. There we go. Got him down, but I'm probably going to take poison again. So I'm going to have to heal it again. Now that Mimic has got the second one, we got a 2v1 fight here in our favor. And he has the poison attack too, unfortunately. So he's got me poisoned. And he's on me instead of Mimic, which is not good. That's not good. Heal up. And I don't have FP left to use Flame Cleanse Me again, so I'm just going to have to hope we can kill him before the poison gets me. He's doing his poison again, man. I've never... Normally I don't see it this much in one one go through, but I need to get back on the ground because I'm on the clock here with the poison. So one more. Here we go. Got him. That was close. That's about as close as you can cut it here. So we get the trophy for killing this boss. And there should be a site of grace that pops up that we can use to get rid of this poison. And there it is. It's all the way back there. Will we get to it before the poison gets me? That is the question. Here we go. We'll make it. That was a close call. And as I said, this is a pretty challenging fight. So don't be discouraged if it takes you a couple tries. If it's too hard at this point, you can always farm for runes. I'm going to level up, take my mind to 13. Just barely can't get another level, but that's okay. All right, so what we want to do now is we want to get inside of this coffin, and it's actually going to warp us to another underground site. Skip this cutscene here. And this takes us to the Deep Root Depths. So this area we do not have a map for yet. We will get the map. What we're going to do is kind of head west. Get that grace first. Head west. We're about to get our 5th of 7 legendary spells. You got to kind of navigate these tree roots here to do it. So we want to take this one all the way to the other side. And that little cave right there, that's our spell that we need. So I'm going to jump down here, get to the other side of this chasm, which is where we need to go to progress the level. But instead of progressing, we're going to turn back, go up these tree roots over here, get up there. Where's the spot to jump up? Here we go. So we're going to go all the way over here to the entrance to the cave, which is on this side. Ignore the flying ants. So go up here. Oops, that's not where we want to go. Never mind, don't go up here. The entrance is back over here. Grab this item. Along this branch, which we can drop down to this branch now. This takes us up and into the cave. So stay on your horse in here. There's going to be a lot of ants in here. Now, there's going to be a lot of the queen ants in here. You see that giant bulb on the back? If you hit it, you get a large rune item, and you also get a rune arc for each of these. The problem is the rest of the ants are going to be mad. So hit these really quick. Make sure you stay on horseback. You're going to get a ton of these runes. And just make sure that you stay quick and nimble so that the other ants can't hit you. Got a bunch of these runes and a bunch of rune arcs. And up here is Elden Stars. That's the legendary spell that we need. So now we're going to jump back on these branches here and go up. And we're done with that. It's a little bit of a tricky section. I got a little bit lost there on the branches. It's kind of confusing to navigate. But we got through it. There are some items down here. Got a golden rune. So around here is where we're going to get, there's going to be a grace that we're just going to unlock for safety. So if we die, this is where we're going to warp back to instead of at the very beginning. And those Newman's runes we were picking up, those are worth quite a bit of runes. I can't remember exactly off the top of my head how much each of those are worth, but we got like 4 or 5 of them. So that is very solid. So now we're going to head north-ish, kind of into this murky swamp water. And now we're going more northwest. And what we want to do, when you go through these ruins here, you see this gazebo. This is our map, the Deep Root Depths. So now we can see down here. Next place we're going to go is over here. And this is where we're going to get our Somber Smithing Stone 7. So if you remember in the last episode, we picked up an 8 and a 9. So all we have left to actually upgrade our weapon is a 7. So once we get the 7, we can get the +7, +8, and +9. We can use those all 3 of those stones to get our weapon all the way up to +9, which is pretty insane for this point of the game. We're going to be doing some very, very heavy damage. So you have to go around this building, go through the front door here. This is our Somber 7. Once you get it, loop back out the way you came. We're going to have to get back up where we just came down. And this part is another kind of tree root spot. It's a little bit tricky. There's some danger along the way, but you have to get up here to get to the next boss. So jump on these roofs, get behind this gargoyle. They shoot flames at you, so you want to get behind them because they can't turn around, but there's several of them up on these branches, unfortunately. So in this fork, we're going to go right and make sure you are sprinting the whole way because these gargoyles are going to try to shoot their flames at you, and it is no bueno if they hit you. So now we're going to jump over on this one, but watch out, there's one on the roof right here. And what we want is we want to drop down here and get this grace. That is a tricky section, but you just kind of have to follow that path along the roots and you'll be fine. And what we're actually going to do now is we're going to warp back to Round Table Hold and get our weapon up to +9 because we're about to fight a boss. Not too tough of a boss, but a boss nonetheless. So we want to be as strong as possible. And this will help us out later in the episode as well because we're going to be fighting quite a few bosses in this episode. So we want to be strong. Strengthen our armament to +7 there, now +8, now +9. So all we have left is we need a Somber Ancient Dragon Smithing Stone to get to +10, and that will give us actually a trophy for getting to +10. However, that's going to happen later, so in a future episode. So what I want to do now is work back to the deep root depths, across the roots. And we're about to fight ourselves another boss. Make sure I get my turtle shell back out and two-hand my weapon so I get the stamina boost from the turtle shell. And here's where we're going to fight our boss. And as soon as the boss spawns, we're going to use our Mimic. And then we're looking at the Prince of Death right now. He's the first of the demigods to be slain. He's all gross looking down here. He is the source of the Death Blight. So my Mimic is spawning in. We're taking on this guy. There's more than just this one, though. So the Fia's Champions is who we're fighting. And there's going to be more of them that spawn in. Gonna heal up. Unfortunately, he's after me and not my Mimic. There we go. Now he's after my Mimic. And got Roger, killed him. So now 3 of them are going to spawn at the same time. But again, it's not too bad. It is a bit more dangerous, but still not too horrible. Don't write them off. Just be careful. You'll be all right. Yeah, that magic sword does quite a bit of damage. There we go. Got 2 of them down. Last of them is Lionel. And now Lionel's down, so we are done with this boss. Okay. So After killing the boss, we got ourselves a side of grace here. And probably will level up. Get my dex up to 25. Sounds good to me. So what we want to do now is we want to use this portal. And this is going to warp us inside the capital, which is the next major dungeon of the game. And it's going to allow us to get into the capital without having to fight a pretty difficult boss. That's optional, not for a trophy. So we want to avoid fighting this boss if we can. So this takes us to the capital. This, I believe, is a multiplayer item. Yep. So we're going to head on up through here. We're going to get the first grace in the capital. We're not going to do the capital quite yet. We're going to come back here later in this episode. But for now, we just want to get that first grace so that we can warp back here later. So we're going to get that right here. Then we're going to warp out of here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to warp back over here, and we're going to get the other map fragment. This part of the world. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and put a marker down here and a marker down here. We're going to pick up 4 golden seeds along the way, which is probably going to get us our next flask upgrade. So just follow this path. At the top is going to be a mini boss, the dual tree sentinels. We do not need to fight them for a trophy, so we're not going to fight them. Just going to sprint right past them. All right, there they are, the dual tree sentinels. Or not dual tree. Are they the... Yes, the dual tree sentinels. I was thinking Crucible Knights for some reason. Yeah, the dual tree sentinels. Run right past them. They'll chase you for a little bit, but then they'll turn back around, so don't worry about them. So here, got another site of grace. Get 2 golden seeds. And our map fragment. Back on our horse. And a gargoyle mini boss is going to attack us here, but there's no need to fight it. It's not for a trophy, so we're going to run right by it. Just like we've been doing. Okay, and now, let's see, I can see here now. We're going to go up here, and then we're going to follow this little pathway down here. And then we're going to go, this is our next stop, and then we're going to go here. And this guy's going to transform into Morgott.
Smoldering with that wretch.
So now we're going to follow this path. This way towards our number 4. Can't use my map right now. But we're going to unlock this side of grace right in front of us. I'm going to rest at it and advance the time. And upgrade our flask. Okay, past the time till morning. And I actually have to take care of something real quick, so I will be right back, guys. Give me just a sec. Okay, and I am back, so let's carry on. So where we're headed next is going to be down here. There's going to be a sacred tier, then we're going to head immediately up here for a hero's grave area that we're going to need to get a legendary spirit ash. It's going to be our third of 6. So after that, we're going to be at the halfway point for the spirit ashes. Pretty nice. Okay, just running past all this, we see our beacon. There's actually a graveyard on the way. We're going to pick up some runes while we're at it. All right, there we go. We got our sacred tier down here. All right, there we go. And there's not a site of grace in here, so we can't immediately rest and upgrade. Ignore this guy. So out in front of this hero's grave area that we're headed to next, there's actually going to be a black knife assassin. And there's several of them in the game. I think this might be the first one that we've encountered. You don't have to kill it to move on. We're actually just going to go straight through here. That you get no trophy for killing it. You actually get a pretty nice dagger if you kill him, or actually kill her. All the Black Knight Assassins are ladies. And the dagger you get has a really cool projectile. If you want to beat her and get the dagger and experiment with it, it's actually a very cool dagger. All right, so here we are in the Sainted Hero's grave. And this grave has a little bit of a puzzle. I'll show you what I mean in just a bit. Pretty much for the most part, we're going to run through it and not really engage in much combat except for when needed. So you see these little circles of light on the ground. There's some enemies that are shadows, and you can't hit them unless you lure them in one of those circles of light. They can do damage to you, but you can't do damage to them until you lure them in that circle of light. So that's going to actually be something we're going to need to take advantage of later. And these imps can be annoying. So right here, the ground's going to collapse. You want to run straight forward. We have a circle here, and there's going to be shadow enemies down here. You see, right when they go in the light, they become vulnerable. And so once they're transforming, they're actually they can't hit you, but you can hit them for some pretty sick damage. So they're not much of a threat once you get them in the light. Once they kind of transform from shadow to regular, though, they'll function like normal enemies. So you really only have that advantage while they're kind of stunned from walking in the light. And some of them can be a little bit skittish, like they don't want to come in right away, but eventually they will. So let's pull the lever. And in here, we're going to have some guillotines. Make sure you don't get your head cut off by these. What we're going to want to do is just run past all this crap. There's going to be a guy on horseback over here. Just going to run past him as well. Not as intimidating as you might think. Right in front of us is going to be the boss door. But we haven't opened the boss door yet. This is one where we have to unlock the boss door via puzzle. There are some catacombs where you have to pull a switch to unlock the boss door. In this case, it's a little bit different. If you go down there, there's actually a royal revenant that's going to attack you. I do not recommend fighting that thing. Those things are trouble. So this shadow enemy is a duelist. And I don't need to get these glove wards, but I'm just getting them just because they're there. And we actually need to kill him, because killing this duelist is what unlocks the door. So this is the solution to the puzzle. We got to kill this guy, but you notice he's a shadow, so we can't kill him until we lure him into a circle of light, which you remember down here, there's that one that we used to kill the Fang Imps. That's awesome. The guillotine killed the horse guy for me. That was awesome. All right, so we're going to lure him in here, because this is where we killed those Fanged Imps when we fell through the floor. So we're going to lure this guy back here, get him in the light so we can attack him. Once he's vulnerable, I'm just going to wail on him. There we go. That was perfect. Somewhere a heavy door has opened, so that's the indicator that we've done what we need to do to get to the boss. And when we kill the boss, that's going to give us our next legendary spirit summon that we need for the trophy. Wait for this guillotine to drop because we don't want it to hit us. Cut our heads off. For this one to drop. There we go. So our boss door is now open. And gonna take care of this guy because we want to make sure that we don't have any enemies that are alive that are gonna chase us to this fog gate, because again, if we have an enemy right outside the fog, then our summon's gonna be attracted to it rather than the boss, which is not what we want. We want the enemy locked into the boss. So this guy's got some ice attacks, as you can see. I'm just gonna pop my Physic Flask, let Mimic get the first crack at him. You see, with our +9 weapon, we're doing some pretty sick damage. So second phase, he's gonna imbue his weapon with ice, but it matters not. We got Ancient Dragon Knight Kristoff, one of our legendary summons, number 3 of 6. All right. And so now that we've killed the boss, we can warp on out of here. We're actually going to warp back to this one that we activated here by the Lift of Dectus, which we didn't take because we went the other way around to kill the trophy boss. But we got this grace nonetheless because this is the quickest way to the next thing we're going to do. We're actually going to be doing another Everjail boss, and this is going to get us our 4th of 8 legendary talisman. So that'll get us halfway. The one we just did was halfway to our legendary spirit trophy. And then this one's going to get us halfway to our legendary talisman trophy. So we're knocking these out pretty quickly here. One after another. And this boss might look familiar. It's actually not technically the same person, but it's pretty much a carbon copy of the first phase of the Godric fight. If you remember, that's the boss that we killed in Stormvale Castle. To activate this Everjail, we actually have to use some Stone Sword keys. I believe it requires 2, but we should have plenty. Nope, just 1. So put in your Stone Sword key, and now we can activate the Everjail. And again, this is basically a Godfrey, or rather a Godric, phase 1 fight. All over again. A little bit stronger, though. So right when he spawns in, I'm going to do the special, get some damage. This is going to be a gravity attack, so jump. When he does it again, jump again. I was actually kind of late, but I happened to be standing in an area where the AoE wasn't active. Kind of fires a wind projectile there. So wait for his attack. His attacks are a bit delayed. Wait for an opening. Kind of wail on him. All right, he's going to do a gravity attack here, so jump. And then that second one, I jumped too late, so I got hit. But no problem, I can just heal. Four hits on that combo, and I got hit by like 3 of them. And that time I didn't get hit by it. When he does this aerial attack, just kind of dodge when he swings down, and that gets you a good window to hit him. I'm gonna back up and heal. There we go, got a stun. Get the critical. He should almost be done here, yep. There we go, got him. So killing him, Godfrey is his name. Killing him gets us the Godfrey icon, which is our next legendary talisman. Got quite a few runes for killing him as well. So next we're going to be headed to another dungeon. This place is known as the Shaded Castle. Probably the quickest way for us to get there is going to be to start right here, and then this is the Shaded Castle up here. So I'm going to put my beacon. I'm going to warp to the Erdtree Grazing Hill. And once we warp, I'm going to go ahead and level up while I'm thinking about it. And it looks like we got some, yeah, we got that Sacred Tear, so we can increase our flask as well. And I forgot to level up, but let me do that real quick. All right, got Dex to 25. I'm going to get Mind to 15. And that's where it'll stay for a good while. I'll probably get Endurance to 30. And then I'll beef up Dex maybe, and Vigor some more. So our next kind of target for Vigor is going to be to get it up to 60, which is the next soft cap for Vigor. And I don't see myself leveling up my Vigor or anything anywhere past 60, but especially for some of the late game areas, that extra health is really, really going to be useful because some of those late game bosses just hit for some pretty absurd damage. So having that 60 Vigor is really going to help us out. All right, so we're pretty much headed straight due north to the Shaded Castle. And this is one that I would call probably a medium-sized dungeon. It's not like a quick catacombs like some of the catacombs we've done, or some of those like mining tunnels that we've done. But it's not a full-fledged like Stormveil Castle type level either. And there is a legendary weapon that we're going to pick up. It's going to be our third legendary weapon. And the boss that we kill in here is going to give us a trophy as well. So this swamp is poison. Make sure you're going through here on horseback. If you climb up here, you're actually going to dismount your horse automatically because you can't ride your horse in here. And up one of these staircases right here, yeah, we got our Site of Grace. I'm going to go ahead and get that going. And since we can't ride our horse in here, we are subject to the poison in this swamp. But I try to hop along these kind of rocky paths as much as I can to avoid the poison buildup. Again, if we get poisoned, we can just use Flame Cleanse Me and it'll cure us. So, gotta run along this side here. We want to climb up this ladder. It's going to take us to the next section of the castle. Once we go down here, there's going to be another poison swamp that we get ourselves into. Let's see, I think I can drop right here. And then those stairs right in front of us, that's kind of our next spot. Now this poison is a little bit deeper, so you're going to be moving slow. So I recommend doing the backstep technique because you'll move a little bit faster through it. And to get poisoned, again, you can use Flame Cleanse Me, or once we hang a left right here, climb up this ladder, we're going to reach a Site of Grace. So even if you do get poisoned, just rest at the Site of Grace, and again, that will get rid of the poison for you. Pick up Golden Rune 4. And I don't need to rest here. I'm not missing any health. I'm not poisoned, and I haven't used any flasks, so I don't need to rest. I just need to activate it just in case I die. That's where I'm going to respawn. Climb up here. We're going to hang through these stairs on the right, go through the door, just run. A couple enemies here. Now this enemy on the bridge can be problematic. He's got the Halo Scythe. He has projectiles with it. You see, he hit me with those projectiles, and I barely didn't die there. That was really lucky. You can lure him out like on the other side of the bridge before trying to cross, and that might help you a bit. There's gonna be another one of these Clean Rot Knights here, but he's got the spear instead of the scythe. What we need to do is turn in here where he was and go up this elevator. And this is gonna take us to the boss. So right through this fog gate's our boss. We're gonna summon our Mimic right away. gonna go ahead and pop my flask. Summon Mimic. And heal up right after we summon to get our HP back. Now this guy, he fights with a sword, but he actually has range on the sword. He controls the sword like telekinetically. And you see it does an enormous amount of damage. So now I'm waiting for him to get aggro to Mimic. And now that he's on Mimic, I'm gonna take a few swings at him. So even if you're far away, he can still hit you because he does control his sword telekinetically. He's gonna shoot it straight in front of him. There he went after Mimic, thankfully. You see Mimic's barely even taken any damage at all. I mean, he is super tanky, especially at +10. So that helped us out pretty significantly. So we got our trophy. We got our Marais Executioner's Sword. That's one of our legendary weapons. And so now what we're going to do is we're actually going to warp back to Caelid here, to Redmane Castle. And this is Chamber outside the plaza. We unlocked this grace from here the first time. So now that we've defeated Radahn, we actually need to talk to the guy who organizes the festival. And then the castle is going to revert back to its non-festival state. When the castle is in its non-festival state, there's actually going to be a boss fight right here. And when we beat that boss, we're actually going to get the Ruins Greatsword, which is our next legendary weapon. That's going to be number 4 of 9 for us. But first, we've got to talk to Jaren. And he is straight up here. Once you exhaust his dialogue, we're going to work right back to that grace. And then we'll fight that boss.
Fine, I'm no longer. I have a town. May we meet it? It's time. May we meet it?
Okay. So now we're going to work back. Oh. And this boss is actually going to be a double boss. It's going to start off as a Misbegotten Warrior, I believe, and then a Crucible Knight. If you play your cards right, you only have to fight one at a time. The Misbegotten Warrior is significantly weaker than the Crucible Knight. So hopefully we'll get him before the Crucible Knight makes his way over to us. There we go, he's gone. So now it's time for the Crucible Knight. Again, same strategy. We're going to let him take on to the Mimic and then kind of hit him. Take pot shots from behind once he aggroes to the Mimic. Crucible Knights are very tough to fight 1v1, but with our Mimic, not so bad. Look at that abuse. The Mimic just takes so much abuse. It's great. All right, so now we have the Ruins Greatsword, number 4 of 9 for our legendary weapons. And now what we're going to do is we're actually going to warp to where we fought Radahn, because up here is a catacombs that we need to do to get our 4th of 6 legendary spirit ashes. And this catacombs is tough. If you're having too much trouble with it at this point in the game, feel free to farm for some levels. To get some extra strength there, or just come back later in the playthrough. There's no harm in doing that as well. There's nothing special about this order that I'm doing it in other than it just kind of makes sense in terms of, oh, we're almost at another level. I'm going to pop a rune to get that next level. Other than it just makes sense in terms of how I planned out the route for just making things as quick as possible. And that should be enough to get that next level, I think. Okay, so I'm going to kind of alternate between Vigor and Dex for the time being. Get my health up and get my damage up. Now we're just going to go straight towards that beacon we placed. And at the far side of this kind of desert area where we fought Radahn is going to be a catacombs that's pretty well hidden. And this catacombs, as I said, is tough. There are some dangerous spots just getting to the... getting to the lever that you have to pull to open up the door. And then the boss is pretty tricky too. Now the boss that we're going to fight is a version of the ulcerated tree spirit, which I think this might be the first, if my memory serves, this might be the first one that one of those that we're fighting this playthrough. Now if you've played the game through normally, you've probably seen several of these by now. But I say it's a version of that boss because this one actually causes Scarlet Rot damage. The other ones, most of the other ones don't do Scarlet Rot damage, but this particular one does. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my beacon off. And then right there you see that door, that's the entrance to the catacombs. And I might take a death here just because there are some heavy hitting enemies that are on the way to unlocking the switch to get to the boss door. I would expect some close calls. I'm gonna go on and get my grace here, so if I die, this is where I warp back to. Throw on my lantern. Okay, so most of these guys are fighting amongst themselves. You can sort of just run right by them. What you need to do is go to the far end here, take a right, go up these stairs, take another right. Now this guy's gonna be sniping you with these gravity arrows. So you wanna be quick and don't get hit. And there's gonna be a guy right here that's gonna try to snipe you with gravity arrows. So try to buffer yourself between the wall, but he's gonna still try to hit you. And you see those arrows do a lot of damage. And he's trying to do his gravity arrows again. You wanna make sure you don't get hit by those arrows because they do a lot of damage. And even just the regular enemies in here do a ton of damage. And I'm not going to be lingering here. I'm going to kind of zigzag in case this guy tries to shoot his gravity arrows at me. And so what we're going to do now is we need to jump through this window. Head up here. And then we need to jump through this window. That's the first one that was trying to hit us. Now we have our switch. And he actually, wow, sometimes he tries to attack me when I get here. I don't know why he's ignoring me right now, but I'll take the win when I can get it. All right, and so now we want to head this way. Most of those enemies who were up here before are now down there. There's a giant Scarlet Rot swamp that they're fighting each other in. You can drop down there. There's some treasure and stuff down there, but nothing required for platinum, so I'm not going to go for it. That actually went surprisingly well. Normally, I take way more hits than I took just then. Okay, I'm going to bubble up. You know the drill. Going to summon Mimic right when we get in here. And this guy has a nasty grab attack. When he opens up his mouth and like lunges at you, that's his grab attack. It'll be close to a one-shot, if not just straight up a one-shot. That's his grab attack right there. You saw how he opened up his mouth. You want to make sure you dodge out of the way for that, because if he grabs you, it is no bueno. I'm just going to heal up, top off my health. There's this tail swipe. If you're far enough away, it's not going to hurt you, but if you're close, you can dodge through it. Eventually, he's going to explode Scarlet Rot. You'll see that he'll like glow with a little aura when he charges up the AoE. It is hard to get away from it. There it is. It's hard to get away from it because the explosion has very long range. But that's a big Scarlet Rot explosion. And now most of his attacks that connect with you are going to have Scarlet Rot associated with them. But I just got a critical. I'm just going to keep doing my special because that's probably going to do more damage than doing the actual riposte. I almost got him. One more hit should do. And Mimic took him out for me. Thank you, sir. All right, so killing him, we get Redmane Knight Ogha. That is another legendary spirit. And we get a golden seed for killing him as well, and quite a few runes. So now where we're headed is the capital. And we unlock the first grace in here. Remember, we warped here after we killed the Fia's Champions boss in the Deep Root Depths. And so here we are. This is our next kind of big dungeon. And this area is pretty tough. But as we've done before, we're going to run by mostly pretty much everything in here. This area is massive. I mean, just look at it. You can spend hours exploring this place normally. I think this is a rune item back here. I think. Yep. So now we're going to hop down here. And then from here, we're going to hop down to these roofs. We're just going to jump on the roofs. In that catacombs, if you're having trouble, remember we did pick up that weapon that has the Bloodhound Step ability on it. It would probably be useful to use the Bloodhound Step. I just wasn't thinking at the time. I probably should have used Bloodhound Step there. That would probably help enormously. So here I have an Erdtree avatar. We're going to ignore him as best we can. turn right and go down here. Get this grace. I should level up next time I get a chance. So you want to head to the left, jump over this balcony here, and drop down. You see this well right in front of us? You want to jump down this well right here. And this is going to open up to an entirely different level below the capital, known as a subterranean shunning grounds. This is probably one of the most confusing areas of the game, so just make sure you follow closely. It is very easy to get lost down here. It is basically a giant maze of pipes and other things, as well as some pretty difficult enemies. This area alone took me a couple hours on my first playthrough because I had no idea where I was going or what I was doing. So again, just follow closely, and you should have better time than I had my first time through here. All right, open up these doors. I just got whacked by the rat. So drop down here where this ladder is, run straight, don't aggro any of these enemies, just run straight, take a left through this door, and we have a site of grace. Make sure you unlock it, so that way if you die, you will warp back here. I'm going to go ahead and level up. Again, I'm going to be alternating between Vigor and Dex for now. And this enemy, you don't need to kill right here, but I'm going to kill him just to demonstrate how I do kill them, because there are going to be a few of them that we are going to kill. And so might as well try right here, all right next to the grace. What I do is I jump attack, and normally a jump attack will get a slight stagger, but he kind of had the edge on me there. So I jump attack. You see you got the slight stagger. I do a special, then follow up the special, get a stagger, and then when I do the stagger, I'll do my riposte attack. And then normally he'll take one more hit after that, but that's kind of the combo I do. Jump attack, special right away, and then once I do the special, he should stagger for a riposte. Once I get the riposte, then I hit him one more time, and that should be done. So we're going to do that against a few of these enemies that we come across in this area. But for now, we're going to run past this guy. I'm going to heal up real quick. Run past this guy. Don't worry about that guy. We're going to drop down here, and then take a left. Run past these rats. One's going to jump out of the box. See the pipe on the right? Jump in there. And we're going to run through here. Now, beware of these slugs. I mean, they're mostly harmless. Some of them will try to hit you, but there's a hole in the ground right there. We want to make sure that we jump over this hole. Follow this pipe this way. And then up this little incline, there's going to be another hole. You want to make sure that we jump over that hole. You fall down some of these holes, you're going to fight some fairly tough enemies. So we want to make sure we avoid them. Turn right through the gate. We're going to go in and kill these slugs because they might be in the way for something that we do in just a minute. So we're going to get rid of these ones. Go down here, and there's going to be a fat Omen guy that we're going to kill. Lure him down with your bow, because if you go in the room, you might lure down a second one. So I've had it where a second one will come down this ladder before I'm done killing the first one. And that is bad news, my friends. So you want to be fighting them one at a time. These things, if you fight two at a time, you're in for a bad time. All right, so see, I did my jump attack, got a slight stagger. I'm going to do my special. That gives me a big stagger. And I missed my special, or I missed the riposte, but that's okay. He's about to be bled. And you see the second one about to come down there. So again, that's why you don't want to rush into that room, because you do not want to be fighting two of these at the same time. And I got the bleed damage there. So now we're going to do the same thing to him. And it's possible for a third one to come down. Sometimes it happens to me, other times not. But it is possible for a third one to come down. So just make sure that you dispose of this one quickly. And I missed the second half of my special there. So I'm going to do another jump attack if I can pull it off. I'm just going to regroup here. He keeps doing that projectile. And there's the third one. I think the third one's coming down. Yep. So in this case, I don't want to be fighting two of these at the same time. So I'm going to fight this guy in the tunnel. Do another special. There we go. That time I did hit him with the second part of the special. And I need to check my blue flask to get my FP back in good shape. So now the third one's coming after us. Sometimes the third one stays up the ladder. Sometimes he comes down. All right, so you see I'm doing that same combo. Jump attack, special, And then there I got the riposte, and then followed it right up with a jump attack. Here we get a Somber 8, which we already have one, but now we have another one. So if you climb up this ladder, sometimes that third one doesn't come down. And if the third one doesn't come down, he's going to be standing like right here. Sometimes he comes down, sometimes he doesn't. I really don't know what the trigger is. So what we're going to do now is we're going to run to the right here, pull this lever, which will open this gate. And this is going to take us back to the main hallway. So now we have a shortcut. So if we die, we're going to respawn at that Grace down there, and then we can just run straight through here, and we don't have to deal with that pipe section that we just went through. What we need to do now is open these double doors. We're going to hang a left right after the double doors. We're going to have to drop down. Let's go left. Make sure you line up your camera with this drop down. Just edge off the side. You can kill this scarab if you want. It's not needed. It's for a Somber 6. Go down these stairs. Take a right. Run past these guys. Now this next part's going to be tricky because there's going to be basilisks in these sewer pipes. And again, the basilisks will give you the death blight buildup. If you get death blighted, if the meter gets all the way full, it's an instant death. And there are several basilisks in this section, unfortunately. See these giant lizards with the bulbous eyes. There's another one right there that came out from the side. I'm just going to get some extra damage with my bow while... Alright, this one I'm just going to run past. And there's more up there. Okay. Go this way. And in here, there's going to be another Omen that we need to kill. Same combo. Jump attack. Special. Whoops, I did it. I wasn't two-handing my weapon, dang it. So I was a little bit flat-footed there, but that's okay. Jump attack. Special. And then riposte. I'm not going to need to do an attack after the riposte because I kind of messed up the combo the first time I came through here. Just fine. All right. Climb up this ladder here. And you don't technically need to kill that one. You could just run straight to the ladder, but it's possible that he could hit you and knock you off the ladder, and then you have problems. So what we're going to do is run straight to this door. And this is a huge shortcut, because what this is going to do is it's going to spit us out right next to that first Grace that we unlocked right when we got down here. So I'm going to go in and rest up and level up. And let's see, put this into vigor. Now run straight back across. This door was locked from this side, but since we opened it from the other side, it's good now. So here we got a Fanged Imp. Whoops, I short hopped him. These guys are way stronger than they ought to be given their stature, but it is what it is. You see this one hanging on the side of the pipe? Go ahead and shoot him down with your bow. Make your life a lot easier. There's a couple of them that are hanging up here, so just be careful as you walk around. So you see this one hanging up on the wall. There's one right on this branch right here. I mean, it's ridiculous. Oh wait, that wasn't one. I thought I saw one. Is there another one up here hanging on up here? I thought there was, maybe not. Okay, so we're gonna knock this one down nonetheless. And then there's one up there who's gonna try to hit you. It's pretty ridiculous, but it is what it is. You see, they hit for a ton of damage, and they do bleed on top of that. This guy's gonna try to shoot his daggers at us, which is fine. So what we need to do now is drop down, and we're going to fight a couple more imps that are down here. See, one comes up from underneath. The other one's throwing knives at us, which is wonderful. So we got to get this guy. We're not home free yet because one's going to bust through that door and try to knock us off. So kind of bait him out before going. Don't go across that opening because he'll knock you off. So just kind of barely go outside the door, like right here, like I did, and you'll bait him out and you can kill him without any risk. So now we've arrived where we need to be, and this is the room where we fought that Omen. You see he's there, he's back where he's respawned. We went up that ladder. If you kick this ladder down, this functions as a shortcut back up here. So what we need to do is drop down on this pipe, go through this opening, and then circle around here, follow the rat. And what you want to do is when it gives you the opportunity to turn left, you want to turn left. And this hole right here, you want to drop down this hole, but right when you do, you're going to get attacked. So right when you land, roll. Because that guy's going to try to backstab you if you don't. Pick up this item. You can unlock this gate. We were actually around here earlier with where those basilisks were. We kind of ran past it. But now that that gate's unlocked, we can use that as a shortcut if we need. Drop down this ladder. There's going to be a bunch of big pots. Do not touch them. Do not go near them. They will attack you. Just turn right and go straight down this elevator. And we have made it through the subterranean shunning grounds. Super confusing. I mean, those pipes divert into many different side paths that lead to dead ends. That'll circle you around, turn you backwards. It's crazy how maze-like this area is. But we took the most direct route through. So I'm going to go ahead and rest here. And up here, we are going to be fighting a boss. Or a trophy. So right when we get in, right when it gives you the chance, summon Mimic, I'm actually going to go ahead and use my flask. So summon right here. Heal up. And this boss uses a lot of blood flame type attacks, so if you step over that fire, it's actually going to do bleed buildup as well. So again, let him aggro to Mimic. Kind of go behind him, wail on him. And a lot of his attacks have an AoE associated with them, and he does wide sweeps with his trident there. And that trident does a lot of damage if he hits you with those sweeps. And he'll rain the blood flame from above. He'll shoot it out like a projectile. He does a lot of attacks with that blood flame, but as long as you kind of take it slow, you'll be all right. So there's this projectile version of the blood flame. A stagger on him. See if I can get the critical. There we go. Almost got him. See that trident, he does so much damage with that thing. But we almost got him. Will Mimic get him? Nope. There we go. We got him. And for killing him, we get a trophy and 120,000 runes. And we get the Erdtree's favor. And behind here, don't be fooled, is a secret. But we can't go back here yet because it will be blocked off. There's going to be a seal that we can't pass through till we beat the main boss of the capital. So we're not going to go back there quite yet. And we are about to get our 4th talisman pouch. I can't equip that talisman we just got quite yet because we don't have the 4th talisman pouch yet. But once we get it, I'm going to be equipping that. So let's level up. Kind of alternating between Vigor and Dex, as I said before. So now we need to warp back to the capital proper. We're going to go back here to this Avenue Balcony site of Grace. And I'm going to warp it to daytime. Melina's going to have a chat with us.
Bringing here and thus I shall farewell. I shall leave. I wish you luck. You have. I have no.
Okay, past time till morning. And there are some tough enemies that we're about to run past. I'm actually going to use Bloodhound Step for this. So again, make sure you're two-handing the Bloodhound's claws. I'm going to go down here, kind of hug the wall to the left. And then I'm just going to spam Bloodhound Step to get down here because there's going to be guys. Once the guy with the arrow shows up, here he is. Yeah, you want to Bloodhound Step down here. You see I'm dodging his arrows pretty reliably, except for that one, but that's okay. I'll just run up here. Can't really Bloodhound Step up here because you have to be jumping to get up here. But once you're up high enough, they can't hit you anymore. Okay, put my main weapon back on. Go up this way. Throw my lantern on just for extra visibility. Right here, got a rune arc. And there is going to be a Leyndell Knight up here. He can hit hard. Just try to steer clear. Don't worry about that item. Just run straight past him. He can snipe you without lightning, unfortunately, but... Alright, get that gold rune. And here we have a Site of Grace, so we're going to rest here. Oh, this guy's not going to let us go, is he? So I'm not going to rest here. Roll away. So there's a giant gargoyle. You do not have to fight him, but we are going to get this gold seed over here. And he can kill you. He's killed me before, trying to run away from him. He doesn't like it when people run away from him. He demands respect. We need to go up this tree branch here. And you see he can hit you from far away with those projectiles. Gonna go ahead and use my blue flask. Just kind of follow these tree branches here. This is going to take us to our next boss for a trophy. But yet not the main boss for the capital. But the first of two. So once you get to the tippy top, hang a left. And once you get through here, he's going to spawn. So summon your Mimic right away. Once you get the chance. There we go. Mimic. Cover HP. Wait for him to aggro to Mimic. If he aggroes you first, just kind of dodge until Mimic starts fighting him. Dodge away from those gravity attacks that he does. Well, not gravity attacks, but earthquake attacks that he does. There we go. We got our next talisman pouch, and we killed Godfrey, the first Elden Lord. Got an achievement for that. And a ton of runes yet again. So before we forget, let us equip our fourth and final talisman. We're going to use that one we just got after killing Mohg, the Erdtree Sphere +1. This is going to raise our max HP, stamina, and equipment load. Very, very nice. And of course, we're going to rest here and level up. And we can upgrade our flasks as well because we just picked up a gold seed. Let's see, levels. Let's take this to 45, 30. Just kind of going back and forth. Okay, so what we need to do now is at this Site of Grace, kind of turn right out of here. And then hang another right. Or no, this is the wrong way. This is actually, this way is to the next boss. There's actually something we need to do first before fighting the next boss. And this is taking us to another legendary weapon, number 5 of 9 for us. This is the only legendary weapon that is missable. Because when you get to a certain point of the game, you're not going to be able to get this legendary weapon anymore. So make sure that you get it now so you don't miss it. Because if you miss it now, you're gonna have to wait until New Game Plus to get this weapon, and you're not gonna have that trophy until you get this weapon. Head down these stairs, take a left, head down these stairs. What we need to do is see that giant spear that's sticking out of the side, that gold spear right there. We need to jump over the railing and land right there, and then we can hop on that spear and climb up it, and the legendary weapon is on the spear. So make sure you don't get knocked off. Kind of jump around here. And there we go. We have the Bolt of Gransax. Also, another very good weapon. I believe that levels up with Somber Stones. This is lightning based. You're going to need faith to use it. But if you want to use something other than this, you can respec your character, get yourself some faith, use the Bolt of Gransax, level it up with some Somber Stones, and have yourself a good time with it. So once we have access to our map, which we had it, then it took it away from us. I don't know why that was. Come on, there we go. So now we're going to work back to where we fought Gold Godfrey. And we're going to head this other way, the way that I went mistakenly first. Then we're going to take a left and go up this tree branch thing here. And there's going to be another Black Knife Assassin that tries to fight us here. You can kill it if you want. I'm just going to run past it. This one does not drop the dagger that the other one does. But it can be kind of annoying. So in here, we got a Site of Grace. The spell's not going to help me, but I'm going to pick it up anyway because it's right there. Took a shot there. That's fine. So up there is our fog gate for Morgott. This is our next main boss. This boss is a shard bearer. It's going to give us a remembrance as well. And this boss is going to look kind of familiar. It's the true form of a boss that we fought previously. This is the true form of Morgott, who we fought, if you remember, at the very beginning of Stormville Castle. So get your Mimic going. He kind of is aggressive. He'll attack you right away, but get your Mimic out. And then wait. Same song and dance. Wait for your Mimic to aggro him and then start wailing. And you will have a second phase that triggers at about half health for him. There we go. During the phase transform, I'm going to chug my flask here. Looks like Mimic bled him right when he was transforming. That was cool. And we will get a remembrance from him. You can use the remembrance to get his blade, which does blood flame damage. It's actually a pretty cool weapon. But I will be using his remembrance to get runes, as I have with the other one. So here we get a silver trophy. We get Morgott's Great Rune and the remembrance of the Omen King. And also another fistful of runes. So what we need to do now is we are right at the base of the Erd Tree. So we need to go up here and interact with this door that is actually blocked off by thorns. So we can't get through here, but you have to read the message. Then backtrack, rest of this grace, and Melina will talk to you. She'll give you a little spiel. She shows up. It turns out to get rid of those thorns, to get inside the Erd Tree, we actually have to burn the Erd Tree. So for that, she gives us the rolled medallion, which is going to give us access to the next area we need to get to. We're going to do some level up. Okay. So now we're going to work back to Round Table Hole. And just because I haven't done it already, I'm going to turn in those extra bell bearings we've picked up to the merchant here. This is an armor set that I'm not going to wear. So we can offer bell bearings. We got the Ghost Bell Bearing 1, Ghost Bell Bearing 2. So now we can purchase Ghost Gloveworts 1 through 6. And we can purchase Smithing Stones 3s and 4s. And then, of course, as I said before, you can get the 1s and 2s from EG. And EG's up on the west coast of Liurnia. I've showed you where he is before. So now we're going to go over here, sell all of our runes, sell all of our remembrances, and level up as much as we can. So sell. Get rid of all these runes. This can give us quite a bit. And I'm going to sell the Omen King rune. As I said, you can turn that into the lady in the back of Round Table Hold for his Blood Flame Blade. Pretty cool weapon, but I'm not going to be using it. But if you want to experiment and forego the 30,000 runes you get for using his remembrance, be my guest. Okay. Up to level 89 now. Pretty solid. Okay, that's where we're going to leave things at for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Hope you're enjoying the series. Thank you so much, everybody, for your support. I'll catch you all next time. Take care.